Gentlemen, welcome back to the shop. Today we're testing a bolt. See which one is the fairest in the land. We got titanium. Should be pretty strong. Well, we got Inconel. We got some sort of aluminum bronze tin. We have aluminium. We got stainless 18.8, which is 304, and stainless, sorry, my mistake. They look alike. 316 stainless and 304 stainless. We're going to twist these right up, watch the graph and see which one is the best. We got the oscilloscope rolling on the right foot here to get us started off. We're going to start with a typical grade 8 black phosphor coated. Here's the data. We can see steadily increasing the torque as I pull on the ratchet until we level off, and then we reach the maximum yield, and then slowly kind of taper down until we hit a brittle failure right over here. And the highest point is 762 millivolts from this sensor down here. Now here we go for aluminum bronze. Much lower yield as seen, as witnessed by the gauge. Had a bit of a stumble at the start gate here, got sideways on it. We're at 608 millivolts. That's at the yield. We're running about, what would that be, 46, right around 50 foot-pounds yield. Next up, yoo-hoo, focus you fuck. Stainless, 304. This will be high chromium, high nickel, stainless, non-magnetic. And we're at almost 100 foot-pounds. 96 or so, 90, well, 90. And we see as it's rolling along, we're coming up, and the max here, right here, we're at the yield. Max 724. Of course, stainless needs to have, not to worry, I'm okay. It's just the Empire dirt encroaching on my territory. Needs to have, never sneeze on there, because stainless steel, high nickel, high chromium, it galls and seizes up right solid quite easily. Cold welds, if you don't have some sort of lubricant in there. I mean, in a pinch, it can be anything, earwax, whatever, but you gotta have something on there. You can tell I'm getting a little tired from the peaks and valleys of the Matterhorn. Oh, and she broke. Now the stainless steel 316, higher number. It's going to be stronger, obviously. It's going to be 12 stronger than the 304. Now, if you're watching this, it's very interesting. Let me show you here. So here's each stroke. And we start off with a peak, and then it tapers off. What's going on there? Well, there's some air in the system, so there's a bit of attenuation there, but also that's the change from static friction to dynamic friction. So we overcome the stiction, the static friction, and then we're into the dynamic friction, and it tapers off until I stop and pull back. So let's go like so, and like so, and we see the peak here, 722 millivolts, which is maybe about 103 or so foot-pounds of torque. Now let's have a peek. And it fails. How it looks when it fails. There we go, it failed. Oh, that's totally different. You see that? She yielded, and then it took a bit more to get it to actually break, and then of course broke right half in two. Now we test the aluminum bolt. go with that. Tighten her up here. Ah! Seems like the softer heads don't want to hold in there as well. So there, we're already into the yield. And we're not even at maybe 100 psi on the gauge. So that'd be 20 foot-pounds. She might be lightweight, but she sure is fucking skookum. Odd how that works. And we're racing against the clock here. I got it on the wrong scale. We're still starting to come up. Let's change that to 5 seconds. Oh! So what was that? 584. Very low. There's the aluminum, and lots of chowdery marks there. Some little needles. So it was picking up, despite the liberal application and never sneeze. Well, you can see how weak aluminium is, and brittle failure. Like not much warning. You know, you take a real strong material like steel, you got a fair bit of warning because it's got a lot of give to it. Even though it's getting weaker and weaker, you feel it. This one's, you can feel it getting weaker, and then it just goes. It's not like steel. It just snaps right half in two. Now we're getting into the pricey stuff. I only have one of each of these. They're more than a case of beer, more than a Canadian case of beer each. So what we're going to do is we're going to take her up to yield. But we're not going to continue past because I only have one of each, and I want to do the test of each one of these, the pull test. So what we'll do here is we'll do the titanium. No, we'll do the Inconel first, and then we'll leave the titanium for last. Because titanium. Okay, wee little problem with this Inconel. It's fetching up. This nut has been ridden hard and put away wet, so we'll stick that right in the fucking bucket. And jam a new one on there. They do wear out. That's the trick to finding out if you can reuse a fastener. Is thread a nut on. If it threads on the whole length of the shaft, the whole length of the threads, the fastener, unless it's bent at the top or whatever, or worn right out, you know, fretted right out, the fastener is going to be good if you can run a nut up and down the full length of the threads. Why? Because the threads are the smallest diameter, and that's where it's going to stretch. So if it stretches, you will not be able to get that nut threaded on. And we're yielded there now. You see, we got a couple of peaks exactly the same. We'll have a gander at that. So max chooch is 662 millivolts, which is equivalent to about that much. Finally, what you've been waiting for, titanium. And yeah, aerospace grade now. It has flown. We are gonna see what titanium does. The friggin' thing is expensiver as shit, so it better be good. Perfect, look at that, beauty. And well lubricated. Okay, looks like we are at the yield. Let me just check. Yeah, we're at yield. We're at 708, 710 on a $25 bolt, which is 98 foot-pounds. Maybe 97 foot-pounds of torque. According to the oscilloscope, dust blinking lights in, we have yielded this. Now, looking at it, it looks perfect. However, let's try the trick to see if the fastener is still good. We'll run a nut on there, and it fetches up. So we know that this has been brought to its yield point, and it ought to go right in the fucking bucket. Even more fun and violent, we're gonna pull the bolts apart. Now we need to do this quite slowly because the speed of actuation affects the strength. So we need time we need to give those grains time to move and balance where they want to. If memory serves, it's around 0.2 millimeters per second. So we'll just go nice and quick, or nice and slow rather, and we'll keep it at the same rate for all the tests. Some creaking and groaning happening, and we are leveling off. Okay, it's starting to weaken, so it's yielding. I gotta back that off because there's something interesting going on here. Let's have a look at the fastener. So we get the classic necking of plastic deformation right in the middle of her, and we got some surface cracking on the zinc cadmium plating, electroplating, but also more than likely some cracking starting to propagate through the material. So this will be an interesting and classic cup and lip failure. Cup and cone! Cup and cone, oh God, I'll never hear the end of it. Dodged another one. Well, it's not a perfect cup and cone. I do need a new pair of underwears. And I also woke Brother Bear up in the far distance there, in case you hear the bawling of one pissed off little man. So I think before the wife comes and tells me to shut her down, I think I gotta shut her down. She's a little bit loud for eventide. So there you have it. That's let's talk about the strength of materials. So what's the best material for bolts? Steel is the best material for just about everything, especially high grade, high carbon steel. You can get no stronger for cheaper. The only time you get different fasteners, like why would you ever spec a titanium bolt? Well, maybe you need high temperature and you need corrosion resistance. However, there's some drawbacks. It's not as strong. It's quite strong, but it's not as strong. And it's also susceptible to cadmium doping, cadmium pickup, which embrittles the material. You know how if you put gallium on aluminum, it embrittles it. You put cadmium, like from a tool, a zinc-plated tool or a zinc-plated bolt, the thing gets weak and breaks. So speccing materials, all these oddball aerospace materials, they're not for strictly strength. They're only specced because they want some combination of strength and corrosion resistance or heat resistance or some other thing. Steel is always going to be your best bet for a fastener. Now in this case we have 304 stainless steel. This is pretty good at oxidation resistance, but it galls easily and they're kind of expensive. Now 316 is for process industry, say pulp and paper or high acid stuff that would rust, like this would just corrode down to nothing. You put 316 in and that helps you out a little bit more costly because it's not as common, and it's also higher nickel and higher chromium. Aluminum bolts, no idea why you'd use that. Lightweight, they're weak. Same reason you'd use a plastic bolt, I guess. Here we have Inconel. Now this is stainless steel, and it's good for high temperature. These things will corrode at high temperature. That is why you get a stainless steel barbecue, and she's rusted right out in no time, because everything gets hot and it's not oxidative resistant at high temperatures. That's why it rusts all to shit. What you need is an Inconel heating element. Are you ever going to get that in a Weber or a Grill Master or whatever? No fucking chance, because it's too expensive. Same thing with the bronze, the aluminum bronze. What would you use this for? Very specific application, oxidation resistance, maybe some sort of thing for electricity, so that there's not, if you're bolting into copper or something, so there's no electrolysis, there's no corrosion cell created. Really, The strongest and best fastener, cheapest, is going to be your grade 8. Nothing finer in 99% of the cases. Some about wanting destruction. Okay, just the one more. And then for sure, she who must be obeyed is going to come down and tear a strip off yours truly. I blame you. Jesus Christ. Okay. That's enough wanton destruction for one night. Thanks for watching. Keep your dick in a vice.